Oxford TCC is an official language certificate based on the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages that assesses the 5 main English language skills: use of English, reading, listening, writing, and speaking. Its final objective is to certify candidates in these skills at any level from A1 to C2. In addition to being an official certificate, the Oxford TCC helps candidates identify their areas of improvement through its 3-step process. Diagnostic. Its main objective is to detect the candidate's initial English level within the CEFR. Mock. Verifies the candidate's English level obtained in the diagnostic and also provides practice before the final exam. Certification. It certifies the candidate's English skills in the level obtained. It includes a speaking examination which is carried out by native English speakers. What are the benefits of having the Oxford TCC in your school? The price is accessible. The cost is the same for all levels. Examination dates are available all year round. The school decides when to apply the exams. The digital results are sent 5 days after taking the exam, and candidates will receive the exact percentages obtained in each of the skills tested. The physical copy of the certificate is delivered 3 weeks after finalizing the process, including the speaking assessment. The whole process takes place within the school facilities. The Oxford TCC is the best option for certifying the English level of students and teachers alike. Do you know the game Risk? Risk is a strategy board game with the ultimate goal of conquering the world. Gear is very similar. Gear is the world that each student tries to conquer by completing English exercises. Gear is the new digital platform that includes exercises based on the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, designed to improve the student's English level. It includes practice exercises for the entirety of the school year. You can see the students' progress with personalized and thorough reports. Much more interactive platform. Recap section where students are able to retake the exercises that were the most challenging for them. The teacher has full control of the user's progress on the platform and their calendar. More exercises, more content, and much, much more. Do you want to conquer the world of English?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ricardo Musi, and I work at BEO. I'm going to present our speaker today, who is from Peru. He's a graphic designer, and has been an English and English literature teacher for the last 20 years, a teacher trainer for the last 10 years, and an online teacher for the last 5 years. He has been also teaching Ivy Language B for 2 years now. He holds the CPE and the ICELT certificates. He's a creative and an innovator person who loves the cinematic arts and a complete extrovert. Now, a little bit about the talk, fostering the 4Cs in a virtual classroom. Isn't it challenging to give classes online? It gets even worse when we just had to, without much preparation beforehand. Fostering skills in a virtual classroom may not be so difficult, but when it comes to 21st century skills, there lies the challenge. Focusing on the 4Cs, we'll look at some ideas on how to foster these skills, and we'll share our experiences so as to gain from each other. Now, please keep questions for the end of the presentations, or write them at the chat, and Renzo will answer them as well at the end of the presentation. And remember that you'll need the image that I send you through the email and to download the Receptive student application. Now, with my very, very, very own pleasure, we leave the room to our very own Renzo Tejada.
Thank you, Ricardo. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to see familiar faces. And well, yeah, my name is Renzo Tejada, and I have been giving virtual classes for almost 5 years now. And because of COVID-19, we have all been forced into this new way of teaching. Is it challenging? Yes, do you find it challenging? It is, right? Okay, so just to start, I would like you to tell me in just one word, if you can, or let's make it 2 or 3 words, but if you can do it in just one word, I want you to write in the chat what it is for you, what is the reason for you that students go to school? Why do students go to school? Can you answer that in the chat? Just with one word. Why do students go to school? Okay, somebody says to learn, to be prepared for life, for fun, to develop. What else? What else? To socialize, okay, play with friends, to train, to be happy, yeah, to learn, to pass, to accomplish a requirement, okay, yeah, because they have to. Somebody says because they have to, because of parents, because they share, they learn and communicate. Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice. Very nice responses, guys. So now I'm going to share my screen here. And well, first, welcome to the BEONLINE International Teacher Summit. I'm really glad I've been invited to give this presentation to you. I hope you find everything we'll see today useful. And to start, I have here something I want you to read related to your answers. Can you read this, please? Right. So school is not only math and science, it's about social relationships, peer interactions, it's about learning how to be a citizen, developing social and also very especially and importantly, social emotional skills. It's about learning how to be a citizen that contributes to society, not just any citizen. So do you agree? Can you give me your thumbs up? I can see your cameras. Give me your thumbs up. Do you agree? Yes? Yeah, okay, lots of thumbs up, that's good. So if we agree, we need to remember that we need to make students who are attractive, employable, and hireable for the jobs of the future. And how can we do that? We do that through fostering the 21st century skills. We're going to talk about the 21st century skills, in particular the 4 Cs. Do you know what the 4 Cs are? Yes? We look at them today. So the question is, how can we do that through virtual classrooms? First, to remember what virtual classrooms are. There are actually 2 types of virtual classrooms. There is a classroom that is synchronous, which is, I think, the one we're all doing, which is in real time, face-to-face, through technology. And we also have asynchronous virtual classrooms, which is also called delayed teaching. This is what we do through Google Classroom or Moodle. Now, what is the best virtual classroom? It's actually the one that combines these two. And maybe some of you are doing it, right? You're giving your classes through Zoom, and you also have Google Classroom where you give the assignments or post the video, or, you know, for further reflection. So to continue, let's try to remember. Let's try to remember from experience. I want you to look at this quote. I want you to answer from experience, or to try to tell each other what you would reply if somebody told you these quotes here. I have 3 quotes. So for this, we're going to go to breakout rooms. We're going to be in little groups of 3. And what I want you to do, again, you have this, this is the document Ricardo sent you to your emails in the invitation. So what I want you to do is try to download it, and one person in the group has to share the screen. So the 3 of you see the quotes, and you can comment on them, whether you agree or disagree. And more importantly, from your own experience, what you would say if somebody told you this, okay? So Ricardo, could you help me with the breakout rooms?
Sure.
Okay, guys, so see you in your breakout rooms. I'll be visiting some groups. You know, you're a lot, so I'll hope to visit the most I can. So see you there, guys.
Hello?
Hi, hello.
So we will wait for the others.
Yeah, it seems like.
Yes, I am BEO representative, so I'm not a teacher here. I will just
Okay.
help you out if you have any issues.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm a teacher at the Europa Schule in San Pedro Sula, Honduras.
Cool.
German and mathematics.
Yeah, this is so nice to see so many of you from all around the world. It's very interesting to see how you share your point of view. You're so participative, all of you. That's so great.
Thank you.
Let's see if anybody else will join us. Yes. So do you have the picture?
I don't know where.
There's in the chat, if you go in the chat at the very beginning, can you see it or not? Or otherwise, I see if I can find it. Oh, there's not anymore, I guess.
In the chat, let me see. Well, when I joined, oh, here, let's see, file. No.
There's not anymore, right? Okay.
Kamal left, seems like.
Okay. Nobody's joining us, right? So let me see if I...
A lot of shy people.
Yes. Okay. Hello? Okay. I'm gonna try to find the picture because you don't have it. You should have received it by email, but it was here in the chat, but it just disappeared now. So just give me one second.
I looked up and I didn't find the.
Okay, so let's see if in the meanwhile someone will join us. Otherwise, we will just discuss among us.
Okay.
Okay, just a couple of seconds and we will have it. Okay. Good. So now I'm gonna share my screen with you, okay? So you can see the picture. Can you see it?
Yes, now we see it.
Okay, perfect. Maybe also Erendira, can you discuss with us?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
I can see it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
What is the dynamic of the discussion?
Okay, as Renzo said, you can read the definition and you can discuss whether it happened to you, what do you think about it? Okay, so for example, if you have a look at the first sentence, teachers may find themselves at times spending more time in technological training than teaching the content material of the course. So what do you think about it?
Yes, I think that in the first case, the teacher may find themselves at times spending more time in technological training, the content of the course. I think that happens a lot in different fields. I also teach photography. I'm a photographer, and usually people tend to think that the key is to learn the technological aspect.
Okay.
And they don't appreciate the technology as a tool for learning itself. So you know, probably focus too much on the little technical details. Like they want to learn how, let's talk about one specific case. You know, like you have a spreadsheet software. Maybe you use that as a tool for, let's say, statistics class or any other class. But people focus more on trying to learn the program or the software itself than they try to get the application we're trying to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, I think it depends also on the way you can implement it. I mean, if you have all the skills to do it, like if you're very skilled with technological things, then I don't think you will spend a lot of time just teaching the content material because people are already skilled. You know what I mean? I don't know if I was clear.
Okay. Okay, guys. So I really hope you had the chance to actually share your experiences here. And again, let me share your screen so we go back to. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So we go back to the quotes. Now, again, I really hope you had the chance to actually comment on these quotes. But there is a thing here with the quotes. All these quotes have something that makes them very similar. Maybe you can write it in the chat. What do you think is the similarity between these quotes? What do you think is the similarity between these quotes, the three quotes? Yes, yes, very good, Annalise. They are from several years ago. Yes, Angela, they are old. Maybe we could say they are outdated. Again, I'm not going against these authors, but I'm just looking at the date, okay? It's been more than 10 years. So in less than 10 years, you know how much technology has evolved. So we could say that these quotes are outdated. But again, if we look at every quote in particular, the first one has to do with adaptation, and this is what we're doing now. It is all about adaptation and how our approach to adaptation is. Now, the second one, this is something so simple. You know, when I started in virtual lessons, and I still do it from time to time, I am very tempted to look at the face of my student and talk to the face of my student in my screen. But if I do that, which is what I'm doing now, I'm not really transmitting any emotion through my eyes, which is what I do now by looking at you. That is one of the easiest way of transmitting emotion through technology. Just look at your students, not there, but there in the camera. And now the second one is about praising. There are many praising techniques we use in our regular classes that can be used in virtual classes. So before we go into the 4 C's, let's try to remember what the 21st century skills are. Okay, so we're gonna watch a video. I have it here, let me open my screen. Okay, I'm gonna show you a video that describes what the 21st century skills are, just to remember, okay? But let's watch. Okay.
Have you heard the phrase 21st century skills lately? Does it seem weird that nobody ever takes the time to really explain what that means? I'm Chris Zook with AES, and today we're going to answer the question, what are 21st century skills? 21st century skills are 12 abilities that students need to succeed in the age of the internet. These 12 abilities are grouped into 3 different categories. In this video, we'll dive into each category in depth so that you know what people are talking about when they say the phrase 21st century skills. We'll start by talking about learning skills. The first 21st century skills category is called learning skills. These are also called the 4 C's. These skills all help students adapt and improve in the workplace. These skills include creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. All of them are skills that students can use later in life to adapt to any situation that they can encounter on the job. Our next 21st century skills category is called literacy skills. These are sometimes also called IMT skills, and they all deal with students reading and understanding information, especially the information that they find online. The first skill is information literacy. This means when a student reads something online that they understand what that is actually saying, whether it's a newspaper article or a blog from a source that they just found that day. The second skill is media literacy. That means understanding the sources that publish that information and whether those sources are reliable. Finally, there's also technology literacy. Technology literacy revolves around students understanding the machinery and the equipment that goes into publishing that kind of information. Online, that mostly revolves around servers and computers. These 3 skills help students become savvy information consumers. Combined with our last category, it also helps them become challenging, independent thinkers in the age of the internet. The third category of 21st century skills is called life skills. It's also sometimes called flips. These skills are the ones that students can use as they go through their lives dealing with technology in a variety of different ways, whether that be their personal smartphone or their workplace computer. These skills include flexibility, leadership, initiative, productivity, and social skills, all of which students are bound to use in their personal lives and their professional lives. All of these life skills help students for decades to come. When you combine them with the other 21st century skills, you get a well-rounded student who's able to discern accurate information in an age when there is so much data out there available. If you want to teach 21st century skills to your students...
So a very nice brief description of what 21st skills are. So we have, just to recap here, literacy skills. These skills are the one we foster in our students thanks to the VEO investigation. I don't know if you remember, but students had to do research and find out on sources and go deep into the source. So that's literacy skills, the IMTs. Then we have the life skills, which is flips because of the initials as well. And the ones we're going to talk about today, the learning skills. These are the 4 C's. And according to the National Education Association from the US, this set of skills, creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication, this set of skills is the most important set of skills from all of the skills here, from all of the 21st century skills. So that's why I decided to prepare this presentation for you, focusing on these skills. So let's start with collaboration. Now, first, we need to remember that the success of a class is not actually defined by the technology itself. It is defined by the interaction between the participants, say student-student or teacher-student, and also parents using that technology. That is the essential ingredient for the success of your virtual lessons. And the question is, what is collaboration? Collaboration is an experience where students work effectively and respectfully with others, where they assume shared responsibilities, where they value individual contributions, also where flexibility and willingness are present to make compromises for common goals. That is what defines a student who knows how to collaborate. Now, students need to understand that every time we work together, we have thoughts, ideas, and experiences in so many different levels from so many different people. And if they can learn to actually work on this, on collaboration, they can only elevate what each person can do as individuals in group works or pair work or in any grouping techniques you have through different platforms, Google Meet or Zoom or Skype. There are so many different platforms to do collaboration. To have students writing emails, creating web pages or wikis, creating blogs collaboratively, and also working on the projects you have assigned. So these tools usually provide students opportunities to learn together, to promote interactivity, increase social presence, and build a sense of community. This here is the most important thing for why we should foster collaboration, because we need to make students who contribute to society, make citizens who contribute to society, and they need to have this sense of community to be able to do that. Now, we'll be looking today at some tips on what platforms you can use, what applications you can use in your classes, but as we go through the presentation, okay? Now, one thing here I wanted to say, how can you make your applications or sources safe? Usually, any web or application or extension or platform that you use, if it is educational, if it has been made for educational purposes, it is safe. Now, there are many more resources online which are not educational, which could be a little dangerous for students. Like, for example, I don't know, using Instagram in classes. That's perfect. I have done it, but it's not that safe. So if it is an educational application, web page or whatever, it is safer. They usually have special policies. So just remember that. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the next C, and the next C is creativity. And maybe you know, creativity is fast becoming mandatory for personal and professional success. People now who are hiring require people who are creative. And creative thinkers are those who come up with ideas, those who want to explore their way of thinking and extend it. Also those who make connections between their own ideas and others in creative ways. Also the ones who question assumptions, the ones who try out different things, and also the ones who follow ideas through. They don't just come up with an idea and yeah, I have an idea. No, they have to develop it and go beyond. And also those who are able to adapt. So these are, this is actually the description of what a creative thinker is or can do. Now, sparking creativity in our classrooms can be easily done through mind mapping or brainstorming, which is maybe what you usually do in your classes. In virtual classes, it's really easy to do this through Popplet or Babbleas. Maybe you know these web pages. These are very simple to use, and the students can actually merge audio with video and images and text, and come up with a graphic organizer, a mind map. So you can, maybe you know these ones already. Now, virtual classrooms also let students have this idea of working creatively with others. And if we talk about the internet, virtual classes, why not working creatively with others from around the globe? For this, you have ePals, PenPals schools as well. Now, these platforms provide participants with different perspectives needed to foster creative thinking. Now, let me show you how PenPal Schools works. Okay, I have here two accounts. This is my account as a teacher, and this will be my account as a student. I just made this up. Now, the good thing about PenPal Schools is that it's free, completely free, and it works with projects. So it's based on projects, and you have here a lot of projects you can look at, and you can explore by topics. And so look at here, you have, for example, 156 participants that are active now on this project here. So you just select your project, let's say Earth Day, and you have, these are the options the page gives you. You manage your students here. You can write their level, where they are intermediate, basic, or advanced. You here have the option of previewing the lessons your students will look at here. You have, in this lesson, you have different projects or mini lessons. So you can tell your students to do one in particular or to do them all. And this is, again, the web page, the account of the teacher. Now, you can invite parents as well, so they take an active role in their their children's learning. And you can also grade the activities. Now, what I like is that, for example, if I click on reflection, I can actually decide what I want to grade. If I want to grade the grammar or the spelling in their comments or in their projects, whether they have supportive claims, if they actually collaborate, if they are empathic, their effort and everything. I can grade it here, and the students will see their grading. Now, if we go to the student's account, the student has to join. They receive a code, so you just give them the code and they join. And this is the lesson I told my student to go to. And what students get, for example, if I told them to go to this session here, what students get is a question. Your opinion, do people in your community do enough to protect the environment? They have to answer the question. And the moment they post or send their answer, they will start interacting with all other students from around the world. There are 2,604 pen pals on this forum, for example. And the nice thing here is that students can comment on others' comments. They can comment on others' answers. They can comment on others' projects as well. And they are not only given the question, they are also given input here on the topic. And, different, more input if they want to read more, and they also give them some vocabulary. So this is a really nice page, guys. And also nice is the option here to change the level of your student. The questions change, obviously, depending on the level. So this is a nice page for you to expose the students to this working creatively with others, again, from around the world with different perspectives. Now, if you want to add an extra element of creativity, and I would recommend this more for primary, maybe, you have Boki. It's quite similar to EPALS and PenPal schools, but Boki also allows the students to create an avatar, and they can give their voice to the avatars, and they can have their avatars interacting between each other. So it's kind of like a more interactive, fun way of interacting with other people. So that would be Boki. Right. Now, as part of the creative process, students must act on creative ideas. And this acting on creative ideas is called implementation innovation. So to implement innovation, one way we can help students harnessing creative thought is through writing stories, for example. And maybe all of you have, I don't know, Instagram accounts where you have your stories, or TikTok. Do you use TikTok? Yes, now it's so famous that it's become a verb. My students are TikToking. What we can do is use this. This is actually an application that you download to your phone. It's called Stellar, and it's quite similar to TikTok. Now, what is the difference? That TikTok is so popular, so many people use it, that it could be a little bit more dangerous. Stellar, it's a new application, not many people use it, so it's a little bit safer. Now, again, if you would like to use it, maybe you could ask parents permissions. You could tell your students that it's only for educational purposes. So there is always a fair warning before using applications that are not educational. The 3 applications I showed you before are educational. This one is not. It's just a regular application. But students can write their stories. They can merge video with images and text. images and videos from their galleries. I'm gonna show you what I did. Just to show you, I created a story here. You know, I just imagine that my teacher told me, I need you to write about your last trip using the past simple. And the design options here are really cool. It looks like an e-magazine or a story from TikTok. So this is my trip to Japan. I visited Japan, blah, blah, blah. And I also added a video. This is a video from some friends I met last year in Argentina in the BO Teachers Kickoff. So yes, good example. And again, they can crop the images, they can work with the design. So that's creativity, apart from the creating the story. So you can just download it to App Store, from the App Store or the Google Play, and tell your students to do so. And they share their story and send it to your mail. Or they can post it, you know, wherever they want, Facebook, or if you have a classroom, maybe they could also post it there. So again, just a different way to have students work creatively. They could do it together. You know, if they, again, this app is not a collaborative app, but if they meet through Zoom or through Skype, for example, they can just, you know, or FaceTime, they can just work together and start creating their story. That's an option for collaboration there. Right. So how do you like this idea so far? Thumbs up, you like them? Yes? Okay, good. So now, we're gonna go to critical thinking. Let me see, critical thinking. Yeah, now, a question here. Have you watched this program? Yes, have you watched the Mythbusters? You have? Yes? Right. Okay, now, the guy here with the glasses is called Adam Savage. And he said that critical thinking is a mindset. Critical thinking is a mindset where you see everything with creativity and curiosity. Now, if you remember this program, what they do in every episode is try to bust myths. And according to Adam Savage, he said that he can summarize everything they do with these 4 actions: analyze, reflect, relate, and question. And this is actually these are actually the sub skills for critical thinking. Now, working on these skills in a virtual classroom will enhance learners' ability to make interdisciplinary connections, to think and analyze their way of thinking, and also to face the real world with independence and ownership. This is all we can do if we, students can do if we foster critical thinking in them. Now, how can we do this? Now, to foster analysis, you can use platforms like Scribble, Digo, Kami, or Google Keep for comments and annotations. Now, comments and annotations are really old. We use it even for business. But these pages give students extra features. Here, Scribble has a free sign up. Google Keep is free if you use a Google account. Digo has a free plan, but it's limited. But again, just check your options. Okay, now Kami is a free Kami is a free extension. Now the others are, you know, like Google Keep. You can use it if you have Google. Digo and Scribble are web pages, but Kami is an extension that you can use if you have Google Chrome. I'm gonna show you that one, but again, what you can do with annotations and these web pages, you know, you can view and track all annotations in real time in order to a certain student's understanding of material, for example. You can also use Kami, and I will show it to you. This is, again, this is Mozilla. I usually use Mozilla. To use Kami, I have to go to Google Chrome. Now, you just look for it, Kami extension, and you have to install it here. I already have it installed. And the good thing about, if you open Kami, I mean, when you install it, you will get this little K here. I don't know if you can see it. I click on it, and this is what I get. I can open files from Google Drive, from my computer. And the nice thing about Kami is that I can create also Google Classroom assignments just from here. Now I want you to look at this. This is the same as what happens when you create an assignment in Google Classroom. You select your class. These are my classes. I'm gonna choose one I just made up, and the title and instructions, and then the grading. And you can upload the document here. And what students get is, they get this. You know, this is my Google Classroom, and I posted it here. They have Kami instructions for the downloading of the extension. It's not really downloading, but you need the extension. And then they get the document. And this is what students get. You know, I have already made some annotations in the document for my students to see, and I have them here. Now, if a student opens this document in the Google Classroom, they might not be able to, just like right now. I don't know what happened. Sorry. Well, I don't know what happened, but this could happen. But well, just to tell you, if they open the document from Google Classroom, they will be able to see the document, but they won't be able to see the annotations. To see the annotations, they have to go to Kami. And in Google Classroom, they have the little logo of Kami they click. And that is all in the instructions that are sent in the assignment. So it's really simple for students. The nice thing about this extension is that you can comment with text. You know, you highlight your area. It's color-coded with text again. You can also comment with audio. I commented on this, like for example, $20. And I said, why $20? Yeah, why $20? That is the gift of the Magi. Or you can also add annotations with video. This is the cool thing about Kami. $20. Okay. And again, all the annotations are saved instantly. You don't need to save anything. And if you can share the document with as many students as you want, so everyone is working on the same document and sees all the annotations. So this is a really cool extension. Again, only through Google Chrome. So that would be for fostering analysis. Now, these platforms also give students the opportunity to determine the importance of a concept or research or their own ideas, and that will be part of reflection. Students can also use e-journals for reflection. And e-journals can easily be assessed, shared with the teacher, and everything. Now, you can also have your students use a two-sided notebook. I don't know if you have used this, but I usually used it in my regular classes. And I'm still using it in my classes now. A two-sided notebook, maybe you know, it's really simple. On the let's say the cover or the correct side, I call it the input, and it's where students write the summary of the lesson, the exercise, their essays, everything as a regular class. And then at the back, that will be the output, is where students write their reflection, whether they like the class, what they think of the content. I can also give them a checklist so they self-assess. I also usually post a question that triggers reflection, and that goes at the back, which is the output area of that two-sided notebook. I don't know, maybe you do it. If you haven't done it, try it. It's quite nice, you know, to have the students reflecting. And what I do to actually see, because it's virtual classes, I can't see their notebook, I ask the students to post a picture in my Google Classroom or just send it to my email to actually see how well they are reflecting. They can post a picture of their reflections. So that's how I see if they are reflecting well. And I can also ask them how they could use whatever we saw in class in their regular lives. And that would be fostering relation, how they need to relate to the topic. And that is personalizing activities. So if we go to personalizing, wait, I don't know what happened here, sorry. Okay. So if you go to relating and personalizing, students need to remember why they have learned what they have just learned. Why is it relevant to their lives? And through personalization, you can do that. Now, you know, you can personalize activities in 3 broad areas: oneself, the community, and the world. There are many options for personalizing. I just wanted to show you one that is virtual field trips. You can personalize content through virtual field trips. You could use for that Discovery Education, the Smithsonian, or our projects by Google. These pages are especially for virtual field trips. So you're talking about geography, let's say, or you're talking about art. So why not taking students to an art gallery? This is the web page for the Smithsonian, and that's a field trip. You know, you can get closer, you can get further away, and you can go also to the next gallery. And what is nice here is that it gives you the option for maybe some students do have these virtual reality glasses, VR or 360. They can also wear them if they watch the video in their phones, or if they put on the videos and look at the screen that you are sharing, they can have a more realistic experience with those VR glasses. That's just, again, another option. You know, there are many ways you can personalize content. This is just one idea. Virtual field trips, a really good option. Now, I just need you to remember that the best way to promote students' reflection in general is to cultivate an effective learning culture. So the more students are aware of how important this learning process is, the better approach they will have to their own learning. Now, then you have, I mean, to continue fostering critical thinking and problem-solving skills, you can foster this idea of questioning. Now, for this, you can use Socrative teaching. Now, Socrative teaching is about asking the students questions, not giving them answers. So to whatever question they have, you reply with a question. Now, this actually makes the students become used to, if the students, let's say, become used to this kind of technique, they will start asking questions to themselves. So they know you won't give them an answer. They know they will have to analyze, reflect, and then you know, come up with the answer themselves. Now, once the students have become used to being questioned, they can now be challenged to start questioning themselves or the content being presented. So that is Socratic teaching. You also have the platform called Socrative. Maybe you know this. I know some schools are using this platform, and this is, sorry, Socrative is actually a self-assessment tool. There is you have to pay, but the free version gives you access to a lot of features. But the feature I like the most about Socrative that is going to help us in this critical thinking is this one here. You can make quizzes, space race, multiple choice, but I like this one here. This one is called Short Answer. Now, let me stop here for a bit. In the invitation Ricardo sent you, he asked you to download the app. So can you please put your thumbs up if you downloaded the app, Socrative? Yes, you did? No? One person, two people? Not many people. Okay. So what we're going to do now is really simple. Ricardo asked you, well, I asked Ricardo to tell you that what you had to do was download the app, Socrative, from your Google Play Store or whatever. And you have to enter as if you were a student. And you have to write a code I'm going to show you. Okay. First, I'm going to start a question. Let's say, I want to see your answers. Okay, how do you like the presentation so far? I'm gonna keep it anonymous, so I'm not going to require your names. I'm gonna allow unlimited responses, and I'm going to click on start. So what you have to do, guys, is enter my question by writing Tejada 400. I'm going to write that in the chat, but you can see it on the screen, right? I can get the chat, okay. So that is Tejada 400. Wait. It's in the chat. So really simple. How do you like the presentation so far? The nice thing about this feature is that I get the answers in real time. Nice, nice answers. I'm really happy to know that you think it's interesting, that you like it, that you find it useful, enriching. Nice. And you know, through this feature, you can actually foster reflection in the students, depending on the question you ask. Obviously, you can use it for assessing, which is the main purpose of this web page and application. But nice answers, guys. Love it. Okay. This is an educational application, an educational web page, so it's totally safe. And again, answers in real time, uses many. Just be creative for reflection, for fostering questioning techniques. Really cool. Okay, so let's go now to, I think it's the last one, but not the least important, communication. Now, communication and its practice. Communication and its practice shows us, sorry, I'm gonna move I have everything all over. Okay, communication and its practice shows us the students' best representation of who they are in every relationship they make in their lives. And in a class, we have 3 types of communication. We have communication of content. I'm gonna click wait, I'm gonna click here. Okay, communication of content, communication student-teacher, and communication student-student. Now, how can we use web pages or online resources for communication of material? We usually use PowerPoint. I love PowerPoint. Like this is PowerPoint. I really love PowerPoint. We can some people use Prezi as well. But again, students looking at a PowerPoint in every class, or students looking at a Prezi and then a PowerPoint and then a Prezi. So why not being creative and go out there to the net and find platforms that can allow us to share information? Now I'm gonna show you some options here. You have a lot of options: Schoology, BlendSpace, Sway, Stormboard, and Nearpod. Now, I'm gonna show you some of them. But again, these web pages help you communicate content. You can have students to join in some of them, or you can just show as if it was a PowerPoint from your computer, different options. I'm gonna show you some of those. Okay, so I'm gonna show you Stormboard. Now, this is what you have in Stormboard. Now, Stormboard has a free plan. You know, for more features you have to pay, but the free plan is fine. The only problem is that it only allows 5 participants collaborating at the same time. So what I usually do is have students collaborating, for example, here in a project. They can create a Venn diagram, work on design thinking. You have different templates. This is just one. And the good thing here is that students can write, add documents, add videos, add images. And the way you do that is really simple because everything is embedded here. You don't need to go to YouTube or Google or paste a picture. No, you just look for everything here. You have the search tool. So it's really easy to use. I mean, for students. That's one option. Students can use it to communicate content. And I also use it in my classes as if it was PowerPoint. So this is a class I had, for example, on literature. You know, I can add pictures. This is like a whiteboard. Students can write on it. I can add my videos, and I just go and share my screen and start having my lesson here. You know, we watch the video, and then we look at the PowerPoint or the PDF. So again, just a different way to expose the students to content. Now, if we go to BlendSpace, I like BlendSpace because there are lessons already made, and you can also create your own. Again, you just ask students to join class, so students can be here. This one is free. And this is what you get with BlendSpace. I'm usually moving the cameras away. Okay. So this is the class I made. You can add, again, your files, your videos. You can make up quizzes really easily with this tool here. And again, you have a toolbar here embedded. So you don't need to go back to YouTube or go back to Google and do your search. You do it everything from here. And then when you're done, this is like your canvas. When you're done, you just click on play, and that's your class. You have here also this chat option, as if it was Zoom, you know? The students join, but without the camera, and they can add comments to the class. So there are videos and PDFs and everything. So again, another way. And the last one I wanted to show you was Sway. Sway, again, is free. If you have a Google account, you can use Sway for free. What I actually like about Sway is that it has a lot of design options. You know, this is like your canvas. You add material, you add videos or pictures. Again, really easy. The videos are added straight from here again, so it's really simple. But what I like is that I can use Sway to create many different sessions, let's say, different looking sessions. I have also an option, if we look on design, on style, to present the information horizontally. That's gonna be on Monday. And then the next day, I will present the information. Let me look at this. I will present the information, I mean, that was horizontally. I will present the information horizontally now, and I'm gonna change the design to this here. So again, the next day, that will be on Tuesday, my class will be different. Students will look at a different class. So really simple ideas again, but that will keep the students guessing how your next session will be, how your next session will look, what you will do next session. And that is the idea, you know, communicate content in different ways to keep the students engaged. Now, something here I wanted to tell you was that I also use, well, Nearpod and Schoology are quite similar web pages. And when it comes to teacher-to-student interactions, there are, again, many platforms. We have already seen some of them for teacher-to-student interactions. But what I find more important is to have a place where students can have their questions answered, to have a place where students will know they will be heard. And for that, I use something that I call virtual office hours. This is giving students some time. I usually do it every other day, just 20 minutes. I create a Zoom session and I tell my students, whoever wants to enter, to answer, you know, for me to answer any questions you have about the subject, your assignments, your homework. If you don't know whatever topic we talked about, if you want me to explain again, I have these 20 minutes after my lessons. Again, I don't do it every lesson. Maybe once a week you could do it. But students love this, and this has actually worked wonders with my students. They have become more confident with me and with their peers in the actual class. They feel more comfortable also. So you can do this, and this will help you also build up confidence with your students. They really love it, and again, they know there is a place they can be heard. That's what they like. That's what they want. They want to be heard. So just 20 minutes. Now, I also use Flipgrid for a teacher-student communication to make projects or presentations. This is a web that allows students, and you also download the application in your phone, that allows students to merge video, add text, add audio. Also, there is a whiteboard option where students can write and just record that as if they were teaching or having a board. And the way students interact with a video or with a camera is much more fluent than what they do in our usual classes. So try this, try Flipgrid. You're gonna really see the difference there. Now, you can also use questions and answers discussion forums, again, to continue fostering questioning or reflection or analysis, but for students to ask questions on the topics we have seen in class or the assignments. So you try to encourage students to help each other. And you could do that too, or with Stack Overflow for Teams. Now, the problem is that Stack Overflow for Teams is a paid website, but the good thing is that they are giving free registration until the end of June. So just try it out. There are many other Q&A platforms online. This is one I like, but just check for others. What I also do is having a water cooler forum. I didn't know how to call it. I found this name on the internet. And this is actually a forum I use for my students to just talk about whatever they want outside the curricula. To have a space where they can, number one, practice their English, and number two, get to know each other more, you know, like talk about whatever they did on the weekend, talk about if they want to ask me what I did my weekend, you know, it also helps me with building up this confidence between the teacher and the students, or the students and students. I'm always there, obviously, to guide and lead the discussion or whatever we're talking about. So I am the one in control. And that's just another option. Now, I want to remind you that you only need to be curious. How did I come up with all of these web pages and options? Through time spent surfing the net. And again, this is important. I just need you to remember that you need to spend time surfing the net to find that special online resource that will spark creativity in you. While I was looking for the best virtual field trip to show you, I came across this webpage. I want you to have a look at this. It's called The Great Inca Road. The moment I saw, again, it was by chance. The moment I saw the title, it was, oh man, nice. A nice webpage in English about my country, about Peru, the Incas. Number one, the design is really cool. You can see. Number two, this page is also interactive. You can see the content here coming up in an interactive way. And they have links if they want to learn more. And what I like the most is that there are videos, but what I like the most is that it exposes students. Well, in my country, in Peru, Quechua is the second most spoken language. And it exposes students to the pronunciation of Quechua. So, you know, the moment I found this page and I saw everything there is, I already came up with ideas for an interdisciplinary project with a teacher of social studies. So again, it's just about being creative and finding that special online resource that will spark all those ideas in you. Okay, now, after my presentation on Tuesday, I actually asked teachers to send me emails, you know, suggesting more web pages or asking for the presentation. You can do that too. And I also got really nice ideas that I didn't know about. Well, I knew about two of them. And I got these ideas. These are teachers' top picks. I just made this up, remember, from last session that was on Tuesday. Some teachers recommended these apps, Vedamo and Class Dojo. These are virtual classrooms that can, where you can build communities with teachers, students, and parents as well. Class Dojo is like Google Classroom. It has like a Facebook look. And Vedamo has a lot of features also for interactive teaching. Vedamo is more like Zoom, and Class Dojo is more like Google Classroom. Then you have the quizzes to make quizzes. This is just like Kahoot. And Mentimeter. Mentimeter is similar to Kahoot, but maybe a little bit more professional, and it has a lot of features. I'm gonna ask you to go to YouTube and look for there is a video called Mentimeter versus Kahoot, and you will see the features of each of these web pages. They're really, really cool. There is also whiteboard if you want a whiteboard. With whiteboard, every student gets a whiteboard so they can write, you know, with pencil or just text. And you get in your screen the whiteboards of all of your students so you can assess or whatever you want with a whiteboard. And the one I really liked was Padlet. I didn't know about Padlet and I really liked it. I liked it so much that again, I knew about it on Tuesday, and on Wednesday, I used it with my students. I'm gonna show you Padlet because it is really amazing. The only problem is that you have to pay. But it's like $5 a month. I haven't paid, but I'm given, you know, in a free account, 3 Padlets or 3 dashboards. And I'm gonna show you some examples. You know, you can make even timelines or something like this. You can add images. You can also add video. And the nice thing about this is that students can do it collaboratively. You can have 30 students at the same time writing here. You know, you can also have options of templates with interactive maps. I don't know, I can ask you, my students, have you traveled to somewhere in our country, in Peru? Where? You have to tag the place and write about it. That's just an option. You see, they can add also images. This is the class I made on Wednesday. On Wednesday, my students of 9th grade, we read together Story Right Number from Stephen King. And I asked my students to comment on whether they liked it or not. If they liked it, why they liked it. And the nice thing is that I can give my students stars. I can rate their comments. So in a way of evaluating. And I did get really nice comments. And again, I had all of my students interacting here. And as I said, you can also use it for collaborating. This is what I did. You know, I had them in pairs. And in pairs, they can write a story here. That's what they wrote. This is my class of 7th grade. They had to write a story. And they had to post a picture that represents the theme of their story. And again, they did it together. I separate them in those breakout rooms in pairs, and then they started writing. So again, you just need to be curious and find that online resource that will spark creativity in you. Now, just to finish, guys, I'm almost finishing. We know that we as teachers play a crucial role in the virtual classroom. You know that preparing the students for their future depends on us as teachers. But now we have some tools, you know, different and exciting ways of presenting material, encouraging platforms, free sharing of different viewpoints, and also now we know some technology for reflection. Now, I know teachers that fostering the 4 C's may be a daunting task. But I really, really hope that after this presentation, I have given you some tools to make this daunting task exciting and enjoyable. You have here my email, guys. If you want to write, I can send you the PowerPoint, but you need to write. You can ask me questions, and I would also like to hear from you. What apps do you use? What web pages do you use? And maybe the next time I present, I will present your options, your top picks. So I just can't finish, teachers, without saying that after, you know, nowadays, after all the changes education is going through, we as teachers are highly valued. Because of all the hard work we're doing to adapt, to prepare students, to keep on preparing students for their life, even in this situation. I need you to remember, teachers, that teaching is a valued profession. Let's spread the word so no one forget how valuable we as teachers are. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much.
Renzo, an amazing presentation as always. Now we have a few questions that I gathered from the chat. I will read them to you so that you can answer them. And afterwards, all the teachers who want to ask questions, just raise your hands through the application or open your microphone and ask them directly to Renzo.
Right. Sorry, guys. First, I need to say sorry for the time. I know it took long, but I'm really sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's start. Maribel Ortiz Rodriguez asked 2 questions. First, could we have more information about getting into pen pal schools? And the second question was, do pen pal schools work only in English or are they available in different languages?
No, pen pal school is just English. And you just register yourself as if it was, you know, a Facebook account. You register, and for your students to join, you just share a code. So they don't need to register. So it's really simple.
Okay, cool. Now, Maria Graciela Marona asked that if you have an app for e-journals.
No, I actually don't use e-journals. I used to use e-journals. Now what I use the most is forums. You know, there are forums that can be saved. Everyone collaborates and they can be saved. Just to see if it was an e-journal, but I don't really have an app, a special app for e-journals. But just Google, you know, just do some research, surf the net, have fun. You will find that special e-journal for you.
Great. Now, Silvana Mesa asked regarding Stormboard, Does this work for teamwork, and do different students may edit the content?
Yes, if I show you again. Wait, let me finish with this. Yes, with Stormboard, it only works, I mean, the free version, you can pay and you have access to everything. But the free version only lets you have 5 students collaborating. But you can have, you know, groups of 5 or 4s and send them or tell them to go to Stormboard and start working on a project. What I have done is make a group of 5 where I am the 5th. So I kind of like control everything the group is doing. I also give suggestions and help them with design or with whatever problems they have. That's why I prefer having these groups of 5 collaborating.
Okay. And the last question I gathered from the chat is from Arlette Rondon. And she asks, any ideas for elementary or preschool students?
Well, Boki can be used for this idea of students collaborating creatively with each other. Boki is more for primary. And then I also show you Class Dojo. I don't know if you remember this one here. Let me again, this here. Class Dojo is really cool. It's a really nice app. It's very attractive for students. This is like a classroom, but it's very interactive and it's very visually attractive also. You have these little characters that interact with students. This one, this one can be used for primary students too.
Cool. Thank you, Renzo. Here, Africa Sulema is asking, what was the app you used when we worked in teams? It was through Zoom. It's called Breakout Rooms. That was not an app. It's just like a Zoom functionality.
Yeah, and you have to activate breakout rooms in your settings through your account on the web. If you enter the web zoom.us and go to settings, there is an option where you can activate breakout rooms. Actually, Zoom has a lot of options. There is an option for polling, so students can vote. But all of those options can be activated through the website, through your account.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Here, Yolanda is raising her hand. So go ahead, Yolanda, ask Renzo your question.
Hey, Yolanda, how are you?
Hi, Renzo. Well, I just wanted to say that I'm totally impressed. I need your presentation. I hope to get it as soon as possible. And congrats, I loved.
Thank you. Thank you, Yolanda. I am going to write my email in the chat. Just for you to send me an email. Okay. Again, it was in the PowerPoint, but it's in the chat now. So send me an email and I'll send back the presentation.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Right, guys, so no more questions. I really hope you get down to some question. Oh, there's one more, okay.
Yes. Angela Cristina de Araujo Melo Perez is asking, are you familiar with Google Meet? Do you know if Google Meet has such things as breakout rooms?
Well, every time I've given virtual classes, I've used Zoom. I have used Google Meet like 3 or 4 times, and no. Again, that's my personal opinion. I think Zoom has more features than, well, it's not that I think, it's a fact. Zoom has more features than Google Meet. There are no options for Google Meet to make breakout rooms, for example. It is a little bit more difficult to control the cameras with Google Meet when you're giving the presentation. With Zoom, it's much easier. Zoom also has this option of polling that has to be activated. So yeah, Zoom is, my opinion, much better than Google Meet. But the good thing about Google Meet is that since it is connected to the Google suite, you have different extension options that you can use. Yes,
okay,
Sandra.
thank you very much.
I figured that much, but because there was some problems, we started using Zoom in the beginning, but because of some problems, like, I don't know, some hacker problems,
Yeah.
they asked us to start using Google Meet. And, you know,
Yeah. The main difference lies there because, as I said, Google Meet is actually from Google Education. So it is an educational, let's say, web page.
Cool.
Yeah, Zoom is not. That is the main difference also. I mean, that would be the plus point for Google Meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Renzo.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Nice to see you again.
I told you I would come again.
Yeah. That's why I prepared these teacher's top tips, especially for what you said. You say you were going to be again here. So that's why, you know, to give you extra ideas.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, I think now that's it. Thank you very, very much, Renzo, for once again an amazing presentation full of not mainstream applications, and many teachers do not know and will help them a lot while they teach their students, and to make a better job at this situation right now with virtual teaching and distance classes. So
right. Thank you, Ricardo.
Really very much for your time, your dedication while making this presentation, your passion while presenting. I really hope to see you again in the next BEO International Teachers Summit. And well, I think that's it.
Right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. I hope you get down to practice. Bye.